Slash, your horror movie podcast.
Are we doing Hack Stab Slash? It's your boy Hacky. This dude up here next to me, to the left, to the right. I don't know where he is.
Somewhere.
Some guy named
I started
Stabby.
from the bottom. Now I'm here.
Started from the bottom. Now we here. Aquacuck. Why don't you tell us what we're doing this week? What movie?
So this week we are doing a classic 2001 13 Ghosts. It is personally a movie that resonates with me, just like, Hellraiser and House on a Haunted Hill, around the same time period for those two movies. And I saw both of them in theater. I picked this. I threw it on the wheel and we landed on it. And boy, oh boy, was I glad to watch this again. Whew.
So I listened to a couple of horror podcasts that I actually follow, and both of them hated this movie. And then one of them actually referred to this man behind me, who's known as the Hammer in this movie. They referred to him as the Black Pinhead.
Oh, dude, that's pretty good. I
thought it was a little bit comical.
The Hammer. That's my sex nickname.
Yeah. What he's not telling you, Hack Stab Slash, is that hammer is very small. It's actually a carpentry hammer.
It's actually one of
the smallest. And he only does the finishing nails.
It's a great finish, though. I gotta say.
Tap tap taparoo.
Taparoo. Just tap it in.
Just tap it in.
Just the tip.
So, what was your expectation on this 13 Ghosts rewatch?
Honestly, going into this, I mean, I obviously still love this movie even before watching it again. A solid 8 for me going into it.
I was gonna punch you right in the dick bag if you said 5.
Yeah, no.
Because what my expectation rating was going into this movie on a rewatch after so many years of not watching this. It would have been a 5. No, I was gonna keep myself level.
Really? So you're me today? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's head to the junkyard and let's unpack these salvaged cars.
Whew. And oh boy, is this crazy set of low opening scenes here with going straight into the graveyard, going right up to like crazy shit. We are introduced to Dennis,
Uncle Cyrus. Big bad Uncle Cyrus.
And obviously he's an asshole straight out of the gate.
I love the banter between him and Dennis in this opening set of scenes, because Dennis is like, this ghost isn't like any other ones. Then he's like, well, let's just do this. Like, shut the fuck up.
It's the same as all the other ghosts. Yeah. Come on.
And he goes, let's hunt him. And Matthew Lillard opens a bottle of what I'm assuming is probably like Xanax to probably take the edge off. Because that's exactly what he says when he slaps it out of his hand. He's like, I need you clear-headed. And he's like, I just need to take the edge off.
Dude. Especially when you're hunting ghosts, dude, you got to take the edge off a little bit. All right. Especially when they're like 9 foot tall.
Dude. And he grabs the ground and goes into like a seizure fit. And you can tell this is painful. And he stops and he yells at Cyrus. He's like, you told me he only killed 9. There's fucking 40 bodies here.
9 while he was alive. All right.
So technically, I didn't lie to you. He says to bring in the bait. And this is like chum. This is like how you bait a shark in the ocean.
It's amazing. I wouldn't, a big ass freaking truck just spraying blood everywhere, all over this junkyard, just to lure this guy out.
And then they start playing that fucking Latin to like, I don't know if they're conjuring him or summoning him or what to get him out.
Once again, Latin, out of there. Honestly,
yeah, don't do it.
Out of there. Don't. As soon as that playing,
big no.
Get out of there.
That's a big F you. I'm out.
So then you could see the screen pulls back, almost like the ghost is being pulled, with the sound of this crazy,
very
Latin
evil
going
effects.
On. And then shit just starts going crazy. Like we see bodies going, cars going everywhere. We see a guy literally get bent into the hood of a car, which is insane.
Now I'm gonna stop you right there. I do not think that the Juggernaut performed that kill.
That was definitely the help.
I think it was Kerry. I think it was the car.
Probably. It could have been, definitely. It looked like it a little bit. And
Wait,
these.
Did I say Kerry?
No, you did say Kerry, but I think you meant Christine.
Yes, I did.
Christine.
I'm glad we both kind of caught me because I said Carrie and then I was like, wait, that's not
Hold
right.
on.
Yeah,
Carrie, there is a Carrie-esque
there is a
looking
Carrie.
person.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That could be what is
You
it? The
know,
Bound Woman.
we're carrying each other through this pod.
You know,
So
I fucking hope so, dude. It's kind of late, so
oh
I
God,
apologize, Hackstab Slash, and
we're a
this
little
late night
tired.
energy, but we're a little tired. I mean, I got my coffee. I'm pretty sure Waterboy's had at
I've
least
got
7 or 8 rains.
it's couple. Still
Let's
tired.
rain on Cyrus's parade right about now.
Yep. And so after all these bodies are going through, we even one gets stuck inside this little containment cube that these ghosts are supposed to get trapped in. And this guy's getting freaking tossed like a rag doll throughout this cube. And then we transition over to a cool little effect with the credits still rolling of a house where we also, of course, meet Arthur and going through, turning over and hearing about a fire that they had. And then present day where his wife had actually perished in the hospital after that fire. And we get to meet the whole family with Maggie being their babysitter, and we're introduced to Robert, the little
she ain't
kid.
a babysitter. I mean, she's the nanny, but she don't do any nanny duties. She don't even babysit.
She does nothing.
She don't even cook them breakfast.
Nothing.
I honest to God think that maybe Maggie, I wish we got a little bit more of a story behind her. Maybe she was part of this family before the house fire and she just stayed around to help. That's all I can think of because this man is covered in past due bills. And there's no way in hell he's affording her.
He's a defeated man, and there's no way. And we see Robert, the little boy, almost doing like a podcast, little beginner style podcast. Little baby.
They found
Justin
a man
decapitated. Obviously, this family's going a little bit crazy. I mean, Arthur randomly tripping over his son's scooter, like, typical parent, kids, pissing you off a little bit.
You felt that on 10 different levels. I know you did, because as a dad, dude, I felt that too.
I felt it on 20 different levels. And
there has been shit that I have stepped on first thing in the morning, and my first reaction is, how can I put whatever I just stepped on through a motherfucking wall?
Dude, the worst possible thing that I stepped on was the kids had a sorry board, and I stepped on a sorry piece, and you could hear, they heard the pop of that piece go inside my foot, and it was horrible. I threw everything, dude. I raged out after that. Oh my God.
At least you got a sorry piece, man. I get your stereotypical Lego pieces and Hot Wheels cars.
At least they made a joke out of it and just said sorry afterwards. So it's
pats on back, kid. Good job.
Good dad joke. All right. We get a knock on the door, and it is a lawyer. We are introduced to Benjamin Moss, who is letting them know that unfortunately Cyrus has passed away, and they are coming into a house which is freaking awesome. They are past due on bills and everything, and then gets this amazing house just put right into the lap with this weird laptop that for some reason keeps on cutting out with the video of him explaining that they got this house.
Yeah, and it's like 3 different segments. Do you think he took cut breaks? Like, do you think he sneezed and that's why the video cut out and then came back? I think
it might have been he was old and he was pressing the mouse button and unintentional.
It might have been that because he's trying to look cool with the cigar and he's puffing away.
It's like,
he's like, I'm sorry I didn't get to know you,
honey,
but I just want you to know. Edit that out. Edit that out.
You got me right. All right.
I'm gonna leave you this house because you finna to be a big baller. All right.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll meet.
Edit that out. I just picked my nose. Edit that out.
Yeah. Maybe I'll meet you in another life.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, Mr. Benjamin Moss is heading to the house as well, which is a couple hours away, and they get the trip to go out there. And as soon as they arrive there, we are introduced to Dennis again.
But this time in a costume change.
He works at the electric company now, and opening up this house. By the way, this house is completely made of glass with etchings of some sort of language on there. Nope. Instant nope.
Arthur figures it out right away, though. When they go inside, he's like, holy crap, this is Latin.
Yeah.
But I do love that Matthew's there posing as the electrician, and he's like, there is, a miles wide outage because of this house.
There's
And the
like
second
540,000 houses out, man.
my boss isn't gonna be too happy, man. He's gonna break his foot off in my ass if I don't figure this out. But
I'm
that
bleeding out,
key,
man.
it's like something you see out of a video game. He puts it in,
Yeah.
he turns it, and this house comes to life.
Like that key looks like it costs more than the house.
Yeah, the
So
machine
intricate.
starts swaying. We see a lever pop up. We see the doors open. All the lights come on. And this house is amazing.
Just loaded with all sorts of trinkets and things from like hunter things like everywhere. Like
he could
all
sell all
these
house. Little like the microscope or the telescope that he's got.
Yeah.
He could sell all this shit. The samurai swords.
Dude, that whole house could be an Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah, exactly. And how much did you love this music, the transition music going into this?
I loved that song creeped me out when I was a kid driving over there and seeing the transition with where I definitely forgot that part, of course, with where we were introduced to Kalina from earlier as well, and getting everything ready like she's on a mission. And she's getting things ready to go to this house.
Quick fun fact, that song is called Excess by a band called Tricky. And that is creepy as fuck. And like we had talked about off air, it reminds me of what Frost is listening to in the movie Blade when he's down there trying to figure out how to become the Blood Lord.
Yep.
It gives that very techno, foreign language, creepy as shit church vibe. Mm-hmm. It's amazingly placed. Very 2001.
Very good. Very good. Very good choice for songs in this. Creep me the hell out. And going into this, of course, Arthur with kids tells them to,
stay put, right don't move.
Stop, don't, it's just don't move. And they did not, of course. They go out, start looking around and shit. And Dennis goes into the basement and he's getting all crazy vibed out. He's feeling things and he eventually sees that, holy shit, these ghosts are in this damn basement. Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he is all done, dude. He goes down there and he has the seizure fits and everything.
And all he was wanting to try to find where Cyrus had his money.
Once he walks down there, the first thing he says isn't "Where's the fuse box?" It's "Where'd you hide where'd you hide your money, you old fuck?"
So he's getting the hell out of there. And as Benjamin is talking to Arthur about, giving him the house and stuff, he goes back up there and lets them know, like, holy shit, we need to get the hell out of here. And starts explaining, and then dude, even Benjamin.
I love this scene so much because he's like, I used to hunt ghosts with your Uncle Cyrus. We were ghost hunters. And he's like, wait, let me get this. Goats? And he's like, no, ghosts. God. Boo, scary, supernatural beings, wraiths. Am I getting through to you? And he's like, goats. And he's like, no. Like, he just is emphatic that, like, he just doesn't understand he's saying the word ghosts. So he tries to overemphasize ghosts.
I just have to say, like, this movie is so similar to House on Haunted Hill to me. Like, Dennis is pretty much Chris Kattan in House on Haunted Hill. Like that.
Well, they're both remakes, and I believe they're both made by Dark Castle.
Yeah, so you see hints of it all throughout this entire movie, and that's why I love it. I love both movies.
Yeah, these are both right in your wheelhouse.
And as they're both talking amongst themselves, Benjamin they go to try to find their kids first, and then the first door is unlocked as Benjamin heads down to the basement to try to get this bag of money that's randomly, perfectly sitting on a lever. Huh? What?
His name is Bobby.
That's true. Bob. Guys, I gotta say it is way too late right now. So Bobby, being his little mischievous self, he starts hearing voices, and why he would randomly head down there. So he even hears his mom's voice coming from down there, and he completely ignores her to stay up there and listen
Yeah,
to this
because why
other
would you
voice
listen to your
and go
parents
down there because
when you got a young girl telling you to come
even
down and she's gonna have fun and show you a good time?
all right. That's true. This is true. And Bobby taking a little detour down there, he ends up getting the fright of his life going into some of these ghosts here, even
Because
seeing
he not only sees the bound woman, he then sees what is it, his
the
mom,
torso, his mom
and he
and the
also
torso.
sees the torso, which isn't just a torso, because that motherfucker, if you look for a brief
It's
second, he's scooting his head along in front of him.
yeah, it's his head, its torso, and being me,
Yep.
I would have just kicked it.
Yep.
I wouldn't have even gone there in the first place. I
He,
would have left the
Bobby
house
looks like he could play some soccer.
for sure. He could have definitely kicked the goal with that.
But we also see dead Uncle Cyrus, who gives him a quick jump scare by simply slamming his hand against the glass. And this causes Bobby to fall and then lose his glasses. And then we don't see Bobby for like another half an hour.
Yep, he's gone. Bobby's gone.
Yeah, he's just fuck this shit. Fuck Bobby.
Fuck.
This is
Not
Bobby's world. We're all
anymore.
just living in it.
Yeah, you would have a Bobby's world.
Yep.
Riding that damn tricycle. All right. So then Benjamin, of course, heading down there to get his money, picks up that briefcase and the lever starts popping off. And then he gets a nice little meet and greet with some titties there.
With the angry princess. He
angry
walks
princess.
down there and he is mocking these ghosts as he walks down this hallway. And
Don't
he
ever do
even
that.
looks at her and goes, "Nice tits."
Don't mock
Like,
ghosts.
all right, you're a scumbag, you're a sleazebag. We all get it. And then he goes in
Come
there
on.
and he collects his just bricks of cash that Cyrus clearly left for him, because this lawyer is in on it. He knows what's going on.
Yep.
And as he's
Completely.
leaving, this door slides open. And this lawyer, just the look on his face is, oh fuck.
I didn't really mean that.
He starts trying to apologize and like tell her she's beautiful and all
before he
this
gets
other
canceled.
stuff. And as he's backing up, dude, this door just comes at 1,000 miles an hour and cuts his ass in half.
Straight.
Not at like the gut or anything like that. He cuts him sideways.
Completely.
You know, so we see the entire front of his body.
Just slide down.
Just an amazing kill. You see the necktie drop, you see the glasses fall off, and then you get that squeak like someone's cleaning a windshield. Yeah, exactly. And his body just splits in half. And my favorite part about this kill is almost right after it, you hear Maggie go, "Where's the lawyer?"
He split?
Yeah, the lawyer split.
This death scene was absolutely amazing. And it wasn't even caused by one of the ghosts. It was literally his own self just backing up into the door. Amazing. And by the way, I got to bring this in here. Netflix, for the love of God, with all these ghosts, please
do something. Please.
Make a
We've
special.
been hearing about this forever. Do it.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams become dreams.
That was horrible.
I know.
Oh my God. Continue, bro. Tell us about how Arthur hunts for these kids with Dennis, because apparently in a glass house that is just one giant ass maze with sliding doors, it's a great idea to keep separating.
Oh, definitely. And not to mention, of course, he was also in Scooby-Doo, and we know that, you shouldn't be separating Scooby-Doo.
So Dennis and Arthur go to hunt for these kids. And just like any, strong-willed father, instead of making Maggie come with them, she can go do whatever the fuck she wants. Instead of having Kathy regroup with them, she can just go chillax in the bathroom where she turns on runs it. She doesn't even run this tub. Excuse me, I'm starting to stumble over my words.
The tub was already full.
The bath was already drawn.
It was.
She's in there.
Who did that? Not sure.
Apparently, it's okay to just use what I would think is dirty bath water, because ain't no one been in this house but you. Yeah. And rinse her face with it before turning on the faucets. But we do get a very cool CGI shot of the camera going into these ghost glasses, and we see that the angry princess is actually in this bathroom, and it is covered in blood everywhere.
Absolutely covered.
We even see she wrote on the floor, "I'm sorry."
And as she's going, Kathy's going over there to the tub, washing off her face, and she's laying in the tub, and I mean, you'd have to think that this is probably how she had died right there inside of a bathroom like that. And as Kathy's washing her face with all this water, you just see the water turn completely blood red. And as she's about to take one last little handful of that water, as it's blood, Arthur calls her real quick, and she's about to stab her, but just disappears right there, almost
I
like
don't know if
Arthur
she was
scared her.
about to stab her, but she looked like she was
Maybe you're gonna like stop her from putting it on her face.
Like give her a warning, like get the fuck out of here. Like this is my domain right now. This is my area. Leave me alone.
Because I mean, she could have easily done something to her right there for sure.
But they kind of regroup though, and Arthur tells these girls to go wait outside. And when he says that, we see Dennis sitting there like sipping on a cocktail. And he tells them to go outside. Yeah, dude, he's out of the electrician suit and he's in like a very 90s nightclub attire. He's got like a black suit with like a velvet shirt underneath it that's not fully buttoned. Yeah, dude, he looks like he's about to walk the Miami Strip. But Arthur tells these girls, go wait outside till we find your brother. And guess what? They can't wait outside because everything is sealed shut. There's no open doors. And Arthur says, fuck this. I'll just break the glass. We'll get you out of this, else I'll break the glass. And he throws a chair at it, and it doesn't work. And then, like you said, dude, Dennis decides to explain this is ectoglass. These are writings that contain these ghosts. So the ghosts can't break the spells, and they can't break this glass. This house was built for a reason with this in place.
Keeping them in there. Shatterproof and everything.
So Dennis, wasting no time, and Arthur kind of forcing his hand to help him come look for Bobby now. So they head out, they hunt, and we see these levers just continue to shift into gear. And then we get this picture of this massive flux capacitor just going into full swing.
Literally. Marty! Great Scott!
So this thing is just in full swing now. And the center of the floor that you've seen in some of Dennis's visions from earlier is now starting to spin. And more ghosts keep coming out. And these ghosts are fucking ready to play.
And as they were about to go into that basement, and they don't believe him, of course. They don't believe Dennis. And they tell them to put, Maggie's like, oh, what basement? Dennis is like, what basement? If it was the neighbor's basement,
I wouldn't give a fuck. And then Arthur's like going into the basement. And Dennis just goes, no, what are you doing? There are ghosts in the basement. It is not a petting zoo. I just told you there's ghosts downstairs. And he goes, well, you also said that they're locked up and they can't get past the glass. So I'm going to go look for my kid. And Dennis is just like, all right, I'll go with you. All right, let's go. Let's go into the basement. This is a great idea.
And, even him showing Maggie, because Maggie still is a non-believer. And we get a glimpse of the hammer just randomly pulling a nail spike out of himself.
He's like, oh, I hate this. And she's like, what? And he's like, they wait until your face is right up against the glass and smash. They scare the shit out of you. She's like, I don't believe you. And he's like, here, look for yourself.
He's like, oh, shit. All right.
It's actually this scene right here where he pulls the nail out.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. This movie is just wild.
And insanity. And so we after heading into the basement, I
do like that when Dennis is down there, he turns around as they're getting ready to leave this area. He turns around and he just does this like, fuck you to the hammer. And that immediately sends him into convulsions because now he's seeing this guy right here, the hammer, out and about in this house. And Matthew Lillard pretty much sees his own death. And that has to be frightening, knowing that no matter what you do, you've now just seen this guy because you gave him the double birds.
Yeah,
you're cooked, brother.
Never give the double barrel, dude.
Nope, this guy right here, the hammer, he ain't gonna forget it. He's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. And then we meet the craziest of all crazy ghosts. Matthew starts to I keep calling him Matthew. Dennis starts to panic because he sees these symbols and the doors, they're open. And he's telling her, he's like, most ghosts are completely harmless, but these are all tortured souls and they are out for blood. And he's like, and this one is the jackal. And
Mm.
if you do some digging on the Jackal, you find out that he was very aggressive to females.
Yeah.
He actually locked himself. He voluntarily locked himself up in an institution that drove him nuts, and he actually stayed in that institution when it caught fire, willingly to like kill himself. But before that, we get Dennis calls him the Charlie Manson of ghosts, which I don't agree with because, like we talked about off camera,
Yeah.
Charlie Manson, he's a fucking nut job. You know what I mean? But he got girls to do his bidding for him. He got others to do his bidding for him. He had a cult following that he convinced to do the bidding for him. I equate this dude more to like a Ted Bundy. You know what I mean? Where he's sick, he's sadistic, and he goes after the female variety.
Like, oh yeah, and he's also got a cage on top of his head, and a straight jacket.
It is fucking wild why he is like that too.
Oh
there is
my
a
God.
whole bunch of backstory for every one of these characters that we could go on for hours.
Once again, Netflix,
where you at?
Do it.
Or Shudder, dude. Someone,
dude. Somebody's got to do this.
Something.
This would
Let's go.
Blow everything out of the water. So then we get the scene of this Jackal going after Kathy, and it starts picking her up randomly and starts slashing all over at her, going freaking insane. And we then get introduced again to Kalina, who slow-mo walks out there like a little badass and throws a torch over there, and the Jackal somehow disappears. I don't know what kind of torches these were, but it was
I think Dennis calls them like sulfate flares, so they're salt-induced flares.
Yeah.
It's got to be like some kind of crazy, like supernatural thing that you would see in Supernatural with the Winchesters, where this flare's got to be giving off like silver flakes and salt and all this other crap.
For sure. But
this is a great scene because Arthur doesn't have glasses. So he sees his daughter getting just shredded up, like carved up and dragged down the hallway. And he doesn't know what to do besides grab her and just have a little, tug of war match with the Jackal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, thankfully, Kalina comes in and she saves the day. And they, last second, get split up by a closing door, a spellbound door that separates them from the Jackal, saving them at the very last second.
Mm. And I think Arthur even took some of those claws.
Yeah, he got it on the back.
And now they are all in a safe room, pretty much, where now we finally get the backstory of, of course, Kalina's pissed off at Dennis, and we also get the backstory of all these ghosts and what the purpose of Cyrus and this machine and this house were for, giving thorough detail to each of the 12 ghosts and possibly the 13th, which she explains is a failsafe for an act of true love, for trying to save somebody and cancel everything out pretty much.
Yeah, right before this, like they get to that safe room and she explains to them the Arcanum. It's a book that Cyrus used to build the house. It's designed by the devil and it's powered by the dead. And this is not a house, it is a machine. And like Waterboy was just touching on, we get a crazy ass scene where Arthur and Kalina lose Kathy. Like she just vanished.
John.
And then they go to look for her, and I don't know. This house is so like sealed up and everything's moving, but for some reason, Kalina knows there's like a trap above her, and she removes it like it's a false ceiling.
Yeah.
And they climb through it. And in this process, dude, Arthur is just getting absolutely destroyed by the Jackal. And then we meet the Pilgrimess, and she's also in it, and they're both going at it for Arthur. Like they want him bad. And Kalina does that thing with the flare, dude. She drops it down, and they both get up there just in the nick of time to separate themselves, but it reunites them with Dennis and Maggie. I have never watched a movie where people know they shouldn't split up and they do nothing but split up and get lost.
Yeah, that tends to happen from time to time.
but then that's absolutely insane. Dennis, dude, even has the run-in with the torn prince, and he barely makes it out. And when he gets separated during this run-in, he tosses Maggie his glasses. So then she has to give him canned directions. You can hear her as an audience member screaming, like, duck,
Watch
move
out.
this way, that way. But he can't hear a fucking thing because these ectoplasm shards of windows or glass or whatever, they're not only shatterproof, they are soundproof.
Yeah.
So he's got to watch her tell, go that way, go this way. And
About
he
to get
barely
pounded
makes
by
it
that
out there.
bat, dude. Oh my god.
He was gonna get rocked, and he narrowly makes it out there before
Very
another
narrowly.
door shuts. But like you said, at this point in the film, Kalina, Dennis, they're all together, and Kalina's starting to break it down. She's like, "Listen, like this house is built. Um, Cyrus had a very particular thing. He needs 12 ghosts, and she names them. She goes, it's the firstborn son, the torso, the bound woman, the withered lover, the torn prince, the angry princess, the pilgrimess, the great child, and the dire mother, the hammer, the jackal, and the juggernaut. And as she's doing this, her and Dennis have words, and she's like, it's all your fault. Like, none of this would have happened if you didn't try to catch these ghosts. And Arthur is like, yo, pump your brakes. You know what I mean? This dude, I get it. He's in some shit, but this isn't just his fault.
I mean, but he changes that and be like, did you tell him about the fourth ghost?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, you don't have to.
You don't need to tell him, please.
Come on.
He doesn't need to hear this. Not right now, anyways.
Come on. I want to live a little longer.
And at this point, it's revealed that the fourth ghost is in fact his wife. And Arthur loses it. And he just full blown attacks Dennis. And now he's on Kalina's side. He's like, yeah, she's right, dude. Fuck you. This is all your
piece
fault.
Of shit. You're a piece of shit.
But as an audience member looking in, I don't know how I feel about this because, yes, Dennis and Cyrus are out there. They're capturing these ghosts who are still killing massive amounts of people.
Mm-hmm.
What is Kalina and her husband or boyfriend at the beginning of the movie, the spiritual, whatever they want to call that, free trap souls, bro? What is she gonna do for these guys? You know what I mean? No. They died horrendously, granted, whatever their backstory is, but they are still killing nonstop. We're gonna set them free so they can go to hell?
Put them in the zoo, dude.
Yeah, like at least what Dennis and Cyrus is doing is no different than the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, honestly.
You know what I mean? They captured them and they put them in, containment cubes. That's exactly what the Ghostbusters do.
They were doing their due diligence. They were doing a good job getting rid of the bad people.
Now, Arthur and Dennis come to an agreement because Dennis doesn't want Arthur. At this point, he has been told by Kalina that he can sacrifice himself to be the 13th ghost because an act of love would short circuit this whole thing from happening. And that's the only way out, or she dumps a shit ton of dynamite. And Dennis is like, nope, there's got to be another way. Yeah. And he starts fumbling through the spell book and he's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. This is all in Latin. And he looks at Arthur and he pleads to him like it's the last tour of their band. And this is it. He goes, just one more time.
We're going out there one last time.
Let's go out there while there is still time and let's look for Bobby.
And he agrees.
And Arthur says, all right, last time.
And they take off a pane of glass. So to carry with them, somehow they got this pane of glass off and they're carrying it with them so that it can protect them when they go down there. And as they're heading down there, we get Dennis, gets that scene where he was thinking that the hammer was right there. Well, that scene is now, and he's headed towards him, but he's going to be the good guy here. And he puts that pane of glass and corners Arthur in there because he's going to take this beating. He already knew this has to happen. He already saw it. And it ain't just the hammer there, though. It's the juggernaut.
The juggernaut is now free. That final lever has been thrown. Well, I'll let you tell them all about this kill, Waterboy, because it is impressive.
Juggernaut randomly slow walking over to him because he knows he's about to fuck shit up. And he starts slamming around. I mean, even the hammer's going to town on this guy, hitting him in the back with his hammer. And then the juggernaut just randomly picks him up, tossing him around like a fucking rag doll. And then he takes up his body, picks it up, and back bends him against the corner of this wall. completely.
It's almost like he doesn't even do it
sever-
fast either.
Yeah,
It wasn't like it was aggressive. It was like he picked him up and made sure, like, hey, bro, you ready? You're gonna feel this, and then just pushed him until it snapped.
Yep, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but the Juggernaut was actually a chiropractor in the past life, and he was just actually.
It's just helping him get back into alignment.
It's all right.
But
so
these ghosts, we start hearing like a chant, a seance, and before this happens, though, we see Cyrus meets up with Kalina.
He ain't actually dead.
Kalina looks at him and she smiles. And she takes off these glasses. And we realize that Kalina is in on this too. She has been with Cyrus this whole time. And as she kisses him in pure excitement, this prick fucking throws her into a chair. And she immediately goes from strong, empowered ghost hunter, trying to do the right thing, badass character, to a shell of herself. She cowers and she's like, "Why are you so mad at me? I did everything you asked."
Oh my goodness.
And Arthur's like, "Where's the spells? Where's the spells?" Because there's a big chunk missing. And she's gives
like,
him.
I got him right here.
Yeah. So he takes everything and he's like, good girl. And as they're walking out of this room, he stops and he goes, "Where's the spell book? Go fetch the spells." Like she's some kind of a dog. And as she turns around, Arthur walks through a door, the glass is shut, and she's in a room that is now becoming enclosed. And she's just she doesn't know what's going on. And he basically treats her like a useless piece of shit and just, shoo, I'm done with you. And these glass walls enclose, and it gives us, in my opinion, the worst kill of the movie.
Horrible
CGI
CGI kill. And it could have been an amazing kill. But after that, the music is playing, the chanting is going, and these ghosts just randomly start going to the middle of where the spinning dials were. And Arthur even gets a glimpse of his wife, even putting his hand up on the glass. And right before she put hers there, she disappears to join the group. And all this chanting is going on, and Arthur goes out there, and his kids are in the middle of this whole thing. But these spinning blades going, machines going crazy. These ghosts are just in a trance right there.
They're chanting as well. And it's very well done because you see just everything moving around and you see nothing. And then when he picks up the glasses and puts them on, we see all the ghosts.
Yep.
And he transitions into the scene where he looks over and he sees his Uncle Cyrus. And he's like questioning it. Like, I thought, what's going on here? And then he starts to count. He's like, 1. And you can hear Kalina reading the voices to him. The
like
firstborn
a dream
son.
come true.
2.
Just want to be with you.
But he goes through all 12 of them. And then he looks over at Cyrus. And it dawns on him that he's been set up. So he takes off the glasses and he realizes Cyrus is still alive. So he charges his ass and he gets in a good couple of shots. And then Cyrus turns on that billionaire,
cane,
beast
man.
mode and just starts beating his ass with a cane. And he sounds like a 13-year-old boy in hysterics. You gotta challenge me. I'm a real man. You're nothing. And just,
have you ever done anything with your life? Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the have yous, they're comical.
They are.
But he beats the shit out of him.
He does.
And then out of nowhere, we hear DJ Maggie just. She is fucking up the chance, bro. She is just destroying this, if you call it a DJ board. Yeah. She's fucking up the soundboard left to right, up and down,
And left, right.
It gives the chance for these ghosts to break the chant. It breaks the trance that they are in. And they separate, and they all almost simultaneously turn on Cyrus because this is the dude that captured them. This dude put him in these cells, and they carry his ass like it's a bar mitzvah, and they toss him. They toss him into this, like, what do they call it? Oculus Infernum.
Yep,
I think is what it's called. They toss him into there, and it just chops the hell up out of his body,
shredded.
Just absolutely shredded. This is another scene where the CGI is just, it's not
horrible.
Like they should have just went out and bought like a dead pig and tossed it in there. Just
definitely dated.
And it fucks up this machine. Like we can see now the gears aren't fully aligned. It's
It's like
glitching.
stopping.
Yeah, like you said, dude, like the the rotation pieces
It's all
after every time one
it's
of
all
these
messed up.
ghosts have been come out are all messed up. And there's a pause. It's almost like every 7 seconds it flattens out and it stops for a split second. And this gives Arthur, who has now just had a pep talk from dead Dennis about saving his kids. Dennis looks at him while he's cleaning his glasses and he's like,
You got this, bro.
it's not over yet. This battle is not done yet. You need to go save your kids, Arthur. They need you. And this pep talk sends Arthur into the middle of the house. And once he gets into the middle of the house with these ghosts, it starts this like massive explosion. For some reason,
everything.
every unshatterable glass fucking ectoplasm wall
Dude, this
is now
dynamite
shattering,
doesn't even go off. I mean, it's just the machine just breaks down and
blowing everything up.
Maggie's down there next to this machine, by the
Yeah,
way. And
but she's good.
she's all right. She just, this machine blows up this entire house, and we see all the ghosts just randomly like, all right, well, let's just run down this field and
Let's
dance.
just follow the yellow brick road and let's just have at it. You know what I mean? I love the fact that every one of these ghosts takes off. We had the jackal laughing and dancing this whole way out, but they leave the naked chick for last.
Yeah, of course. Have to.
I love it. But we do get the very touching scene, if you want to talk about it, of Arthur with the kids at the very end.
Yeah, we finally we see the wife, and she's normal. She doesn't have any burns or anything. She's just spinning around on the last little pedestal, and she, like, they don't even have the glasses on, but they can still see her, and they can hear her with her talking to them through their mind, and saying that it's okay, you're gonna be all right. You can get through this. You don't you can go on without me.
And she just smiles, and then she disappears.
Disappears.
Then we get like a tease for end credits for like half a second.
Yeah.
And then it cuts right back, and we see Maggie has actually lived. She has survived this. She is walking out of the house, and she is up in arms. She's, fuck this. I'm going back to Jersey. I'm done. I quit. She blames everything on them, and then we get end credits.
We get the credits.
We get the credits.
Oh my gosh.
Waterboy, tell me why you love this movie and what was your rating on it?
So I just love this movie for how I've seen this movie over 20 times easily. And of course, being around the same time as House on Haunted Hill, I loved that movie. And this came out just 2 years later. I saw this in theaters with my parents, and I loved this one as well. And it just sits with me as just one of the couple first movies that I saw in theaters, and it just holds near and dear to me. And of course, I also love crazy ass movies. But I'm going to give this, I did go down a little bit. So I'm going to give it a 7.6 out of 10. And I would watch this again. Anytime it comes on the TV, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't watch too much TV anymore. So if I'm watching this, I'm going to be watching it on my computer most likely. But I the last time I watched this was last year. And it's crazy doing this on a podcast now. But I love this movie.
So I didn't see this movie in theaters, but what I did see is on VHS. And
that's crazy.
When I used to go camping, we had one of those big boob tube, like 27-inch DVD and VHS combo TVs. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Best TVs
and
ever.
It was me and my cousin Rachel. We rented this movie the first time, and we also rented a movie called Stir of Echoes. And I think we picked those movies because they had very similar cover arts, and they both look scary as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie, frightening to 10, 11, 12, maybe 13-year-olds at the time, scared the shit out of us. But it pulled us in at the same time because there's so much in this movie. There's so much lore around this movie that I watched it, and I watched the hell out of it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure when this went back to Blockbuster, it was just done.
Worn out.
Throw the tape out. It's been rewound too many times.
Oh, man.
Like I was not kind when I rewind. but this movie, it just, the nostalgia that it brings me back to like certain memories as an adolescent, as a teenager, just enjoying horror. It's one of my favorites, and I'm gonna give this a 7.5. And I
Oh
highly
yeah.
recommend it to anyone that just wants to shut your brain off and just enjoy a roller coaster ghost movie. I mean, even if you wanted to subtract the ghost from it, these are all
Yeah.
great creatures. They all have amazing backstories. Um, the storyline in this movie really doesn't make great sense. The acting isn't the best in the world. I think Matthew Lillard literally carries this movie.
Oh, for sure.
Him and I think the Jackal is by far the craziest, creepiest of them all.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I can't say enough about this, but what I did notice listening to other podcasts is if you watch this movie as a child, like me and you,
Hmm.
we love it. Absolutely love it. Anyone who's seeing this movie as an adult, whether it be recently or when it came out,
They hate
that's
it.
the audience that hated it.
Yeah.
And
I,
I
I
get
could
it.
see it. That's
I
that. I
get
mean,
it.
that goes with a lot of movies. Like because it all plays with that sentimental value. Like watching something when you're a kid, it just it just holds on to you a little bit better because you're not. Then you grow up and you just have things to remember. And
Yeah.
I take hold of so many different films throughout my childhood, and that's one of the awesome things about film. Really, you get
Is
the
that
it
you
brings you
can watch
back.
it at any time. You go back and it triggers those memories.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I can smell a campfire watching this movie. I can feel moisture in the air. You know what I mean? I can sense the pine cones around the tent, the
Yeah,
pine needles, the sound of horseshoes being thrown, shit like
it's
that.
amazing.
You know what I mean? That's the nostalgic itch it gives me, and that's why I love this movie so much. And I'm glad we covered it.
Hell yeah, dude.
But you got any fun facts?
I do have one of the fun facts here. So the torso that was in this movie, it was actually like a full like that was a real guy there. They just actually put a bag over his head. He was a double amputee, and they green screened the head off. And he's of course didn't have any arms or legs, so I think that was crazy utilization of that, and not even making CGI besides just hiding his head.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
So there is a Scooby Doo episode, and this ties in with Matthew Lillard, called 13 Ghosts,
really.
which I think is pretty cool. Yes.
That is cool.
The glasses they use to see the ghost are a nod to the 1960 film 13 Ghosts because they use glasses in that. And fun fact about those glasses, if you went and seen this in theaters, they gave you kind of like a 3D glasses like we would use to watch movies. And by watching the movie in the theater through those glasses, you get a blue effect that you can see ghosts. But if you take off the glasses, you can't see them on the film,
That is completely badass.
right?
Oh
I
my
gave you a
gosh.
second because you
Yeah.
admitted. But
uh,
and there's also we both thought this was pretty funny. So this one's for Justin. There is a porn parody of this movie called 13 Erotic Ghosts.
hmm.
Can't I
Wonder.
can't wait to watch that one.
Do you think Justin's already seen that?
Probably. Yeah,
Definitely. I
just to cover all his bases.
Yeah.
Uh,
He covered probably something else, probably a towel or a soccer.
one of my one of my favorite fun facts in this movie. When I told you there's a lot of lore that goes with this movie,
Mhm.
there is actually a 13-minute bonus film called Ghost Files, and it is actually narrated by F. Murray Abraham, aka Uncle Cyrus, who gives the backstories of each one of these ghosts.
Wow, that is wicked cool.
So if you want to look it up, it is on YouTube, and it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna do that as soon as yeah,
And
definitely.
then my last but not least fun fact, tying into speaking of Justin, tying into one of his favorite movies and one of our most coveted Halloween movies, The Great Child, played by C. Ernest Harth, also played a big baby in the movie Trick or Treat. And he is
Yep,
killed
yep.
when the ladies turn into lichens and they eat them all at the campfire. He not only
Amazing.
plays a big baby in this movie, but he plays the big baby in that movie.
Hell yeah.
And
That's so cool.
those are my fun facts.
Hell yeah.
So if you got nothing else, I think it's about that time.
It's a wrap, man. We are tired.
I'm
Dude,
exhausted.
we, dude, this
Just in case y'all are
guys,
wondering, we did record this episode yesterday on Sunday night, and my dumbass forgot to hit record. That is the second time in this podcast lifespan that has happened. So I do apologize if we didn't have full energy going into this, but I had fun, and I look forward to many more.
We went half staff for this one.
Yeah, no, we didn't go full chub.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Hacky. All right. This dude right here, he's Stabby.
Yo.
Just Justin. Maybe on another episode.
Maybe in another life.
Adios.
Peace.